Hello everyone, it has been a little bit, but welcome back to the channel. Today I am actually going to show you how to can ham and potato soup. There is a trend online about pantry meals and I love this trend. I think it's doing a fantastic job bridging the gap between your garden, between preserving, and even from the preserving to using the food in your kitchen. These pantry meal videos are usually about homegrown or home canned pantries, which is perfect because today I'm going to show you how to can this soup. Home canned soup has got to be the ultimate pantry meal because it is a complete meal in one. Even if you don't have any sides or toppings to place on top of the soup, it is still just so easy to crack open the lid and reheat it and have meat, veggies, broth, seasoning, a very flavorful and nutrient-dense meal sitting in front of you. So today I'm going to show you how to do ham and potato soup. I like to do my soups hot pack method. I'll jump into all the ingredients and measurements. Let's just jump right in. Nope, sit down. Good boy. Yeah. You good boys. Yeah. The first step to this is to make broth. So I made this broth the day before. My husband ended up buying this beautiful ham hock. So I had the bone from that to make this broth with. And then I will use the ham, some of it anyway, in this recipe today. So I let this simmer on the stove all day yesterday. This is the next morning. I skimmed off the fat. I do set the fat aside for our dog, and then we take the broth. I do like to strain it twice. So the first straining is just in a colander to get the real large chunks out. Then this second one like this gets those real fine pieces of vegetable that I don't like overcooked vegetables or meat in my broth. I do like a clear broth. It didn't get super gelatinous or anything, but it tasted so good and enough fat and marrow expelled itself, and it's going to work perfect for this recipe. If you are using store-bought broth, it is totally fine. I would just grab 2 to 3 boxes for this recipe. Now you don't need a garden to make this recipe. You can use completely store-bought ingredients, but you are going to need some onions, chives, and sage. I got these from my garden, but again, you can use store-bought. You're going to need potatoes. You can use any kind of potato. I have yellow and red. That's just our personal favorites, and I actually didn't have any russets on hand. You're going to need your ham, which you will dice, and then you're going to need celery seed, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and then I like to use better than bouillon paste. That is optional though. Now to streamline this process, I chopped all my veggies and ham up. I got all my ingredients out and ready. I ended up with 4 cups of diced ham, 12 cups or 4 pounds of potatoes, 3 cups of the onions, 3 tablespoons of the fresh herbs. Then I ended up using a tablespoon of garlic powder, tablespoon of celery seed, 1/8 cup of salt, and a teaspoon of pepper, 6 cups of broth. Then I used 4 cups of water with 3 tablespoons of the better than bouillon paste. Now I'm going to hot pack my soup, so I am going to start the soup in a pot, just like if I was just going to make dinner. The only difference is that I'm not going to bring it all the way to the finish line, so I'm not going to fully cook the soup. I'm actually just going to bring it about halfway, so partially boil the soup. I find hot packing canned soup is much better than cold packing soup. I know a lot of people out there have put videos and blog posts about cold packing soups, and it is a time saver, don't get me wrong, but what you lose out on is flavors, because when you hot pack the soup, you can taste test along the way and adjust your flavors, and the flavors don't really change after you've canned them. With cold packing soups, you actually run into the problem of not knowing how it tastes like. So yes, you can kind of guess what it's going to taste like, but I have canned enough rounds of soup, the cold pack method, and it turning out to be gross, to be honest. Not to the point where it's inedible, of course. I can always doctor it up, but that's really not the point. The point of canning your own soup is to have a pantry meal that is ready to go, because we use soups a lot when we're sick, super busy. Maybe we've just come to an end of our groceries, so then I will go to our canned soup stockpile that we have. So my goal now is to make a flavorful soup now, so I don't have to do anything later. That way I do have a fast, ready to go pantry meal. And through just my personal experience, canning, hot packing soups is the best way to go. And really, it's not that much work up front. Yeah, it takes a little bit more time because a large quantity of soup does take a long time to bring up to a boil, but it's not difficult. Like, the concept isn't difficult. So that is my encouragement to try hot packing method. I don't really want to push the cold pack method for canning soup anymore, because truly, this is the better way to can soup. Now, definitely taste test this along the way. Always start out with a little bit of salt and add more as you need it. After it's simmered for a good 15-20 minutes, go ahead and pull your jars out. Fill them using a 1-inch headspace. This gave me 5 quart jars plus a little bit of extra broth. Go ahead and debubble, wipe your rims, put the lids on finger tight. After that, you're going to have to follow the instructions to your specific pressure canner, but it is pressure can at 10 pounds with altitude adjustments, of course. For quart jars, you need to do 90 minutes. Pint jars, you can do 75 minutes. I do want to add just one final memo to this, is that the soup is not thick. Usually when you make ham and potato soup from scratch, that you make it into almost like a stew or just a thickened soup. This is not that. This is thin. For canning purposes, you can't can thickened soup. It's not safe. So this is just vegetables and broth, but it's honestly okay. It's going to be good either way, whether you thicken it later or just leave it as is. But you honestly can just make a roux, pour gravy, pour cream, pour cheese in it. If you really want that thickened soup, say you are eating this on a day that you're not super busy or anything like that, you can thicken it and doctor it up as much as you like, but this is ready to go. This is just like a normal soup though. But that is it. The hard work is done, and for a pantry meal, you don't really get better than home canned soup. All you have to do after this is let it cool on your countertop for 24 hours, wash your jars in soapy water, and store them on your shelf. I hope this video helps. I will make a written recipe of this soon, so be on the lookout for that, and I will see you in the next video.